Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Holistic Cannabis Show, where I am always your hostess, Dr. Yolanda Henderson, and always joined by my wonderful co-host.
Today's co-host is brought to you by my son's favorite book, Pete the Cat.
Pete the Cat. All right, well, shout out to Pete the Cat and
Pete the Cat.
Pete the Cat. All right, so you all know how we do it. This is always about holistic cannabis, where cannabis comes from, how cannabis originated, how is it beneficial for your health, and always Mr.
Pete the Cat.
with his multiple personalities will tell you who he is for the week, and we can call in and call him
Pete the Cat.
All right, so tell us, Pete the Cat, where our listeners and our viewers can watch, hear, and share the show.
Statusnetwork.net. Download that to your browser. Manifest TV on YouTube. Look for the Holistic Cannabis Show. On Instagram, manifesttv.status. Look for the Holistic Cannabis Show on Facebook, manifesttv.status, and on Periscope and Twitter, the status_network_. And we're also on Fire Stick, Roku, Status Network, Manifest TV. Look for the Holistic Cannabis Show.
That's right. And you forgot to mention iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. And I just said Amazon already. But we're on a lot of different places, y'all. Check us out wherever you are and share the show. If you like what you hear and see, or just hear, or just see, shout us out. All right, so today our episode talks about the origins of 420. I know 420 is a holiday that so many of us celebrate, 4 being April 20th. All right, so 420 is what we're talking about. And we always, want to help our, people who are new to the cannabis industry kind of fit in a little bit. It's like a 101 of cannabis. So knowing the origins of cannabis is important. And then we're celebrating by offering discounts, right? So we're telling you to get 2 friends together. You have the opportunity before 420 to take our courses over at Park Lake in Atlanta and, and celebrate 420, the holiday, with the discount. All right. So there you have it. We also have a special guest who's going to be celebrating with us over at the 420 event that is sponsored by Peachtree Normal, and we're going to give you some more of that information after this. But we want to celebrate everyone who is celebrating with us, and especially in the music industry, because Mr.
Pete the Cat.
Pete the Cat is having a wonderful time. He's going to be there with the music, with the musicians, and it's going to be a great time at this 420 event. And that event, if we have a flyer, I can show you. The Peachtree Normal. All right, so that's not an event, but that is the opportunity for you to join the classes over at the Atlanta, Georgia Academy of Cannabis Science. All right. There we go. So the Peachtree Normal, which of course I'm board secretary, Free the Plants 420 celebration is Thursday, April the 20th, starting at 4:20. It's supposed to be starting at 4:20 at the Georgia Beer Garden. All right, and that is going to be also at the Mambo Zombie and on the top floor of the Georgia Beer Garden for the meet and greet for legislation or a legislative type of happy hour. And then, of course, across the street for the whole family, of course, all of the video games in the arcades is free. And I'm telling you, they have some exciting video games. They had that, what was that one that the Ninja Turtles? They had the Galactica. They had the Space Invaders. They had all of the fun. Right, Mr. Henderson?
They did. They did. They had all kind of video games, but they was retro video games.
Yes. Yes, yes. So just think about it. The music, the atmosphere, the kids, everybody that can come in and do their thing. And then after 8 o'clock, they got to clear on out. And it's 21 and up. And then there's going to be a comedy show. Of course, it's going to be really, really nice. Open mic, so of course. And this is all going to happen. They have a patio, of course, across the street. If you ever been to the Georgia Beer Garden, it's a big patio on the back. And then inside, there's this way that you can eat and order food, and then the proceeds go to help with the cause for Peachtree Normal. And I would recommend everyone to go ahead and become a member, because if you become a member, of course you get your membership and you get a free drink. So just think about that. Everyone that is a member or signs up to become a member gets a free drink. So drink responsibly. We also have hotels in the area where you can book a room. We have a room blocked off at the Atlanta Hilton. So that's just right around the corner. You don't have to drive that night. If you have to go to work, if you need to call in sick, you can call me, But nevertheless, Atlanta is going to be lit for 420. 420 starting at 420, ending at 2 a.m. is when it's over. All right, so I'll give you some more information about that a little later. But we're going to introduce the wonderful guest that we have, who is going to be one of our performances, and who has been on the show with us, and who is coming to you all with a lot of information about cannabis, and is a great educator for our youth. So we're going to welcome back Miss Aviva. And yes, Scribbles. Hey there, how are y'all doing?
We're doing really good.
Awesome. Hey,
How are you all doing?
We're good.
Scribster.
What's been going on? What are you going to be doing? I hear you're supposed to be performing for the youth on 420. How's that supposed to work out?
Absolutely. We're gonna sing songs from Scribble Soup, my album, like LOLOVE, and think positive about yourself. Wipe the negativity off the shelf. And of course, gasoline. La 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 la. I sing the song on my tambourine.
Oh, it's so cute, Scribbles.
I love you, Scribbles.
Oh, Scribbles, you're gonna be famous. You got an album? Tell us about that.
I like you, Scribbles.
I do. Scribbles got to come on the show every week. We don't have to make a place for Scribbles.
Well, we also want to thank our sponsors.
All right. Who's their sponsors?
So our performance would not be possible without our two amazing sponsors. The first one is actually a local health food store called Nuts and Berries that have been selling amazing hemp products for as long as they've been open, because they've been selling hemp seeds. And of course, in the past few years, they've been selling some of the best hemp products because they're locally made and they're organic, and they don't have food coloring or artificial flavors. And not only that, Scribbles and I are actually kicking off their event on 420 at 420, and we'll be singing there for an hour. And then we're coming to your event that you were just talking about. And then I'm playing with the whole band. Scribbles is going to go to sleep. And then at like 8 o'clock, we're going to be messing around with that DJ Neglect over on the Georgia Beer Garden patio. And that performance is made possible by these guys.
Awesome.
This very ornamental necklace. So yeah, so basically Mellow Bear Honey.
Yay! Awesome. Mellow Bear Honey. All right.
They make honey with D8, and they help a lot of people with sleeping and anxiety and all kinds of things. You know, we can't make medical claims, but it's just wonderful to have a honey product, because if you're looking for something to help you with sleep, then it's really nice to make a cup of tea before you go to bed.
Uh-huh.
So how amazing to just put like a little drop or two of honey that has these amazing free plant in it called Cannabis.
Yes.
We're super grateful to partner with them for this event.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So you have some wonderful sponsors. You have Scribbles, and you have music.
Yes, and speaking of that first sponsor, Nuts and Berries, they're going to be having events every single day after 420 featuring all different local hemp businesses. They're going until 4/29.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds like a plan. All right.
Yeah.
So I have some music that you done. Because you did not mention the Flying Penguins.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing with the DJ Neglect, Aviva and the
Okay.
Flying Penguins.
All right.
I didn't say the name, maybe, sometimes the words don't come completely out because there's so
Yes.
much in our brains, right? But yeah, Aviva and the Flying Penguins, that's the band that we've had for well over 10 years now. And
Wow.
we used tour even before we released Painted Truth, which won a couple of awards actually, because that's our only studio album out so far. Painted Truth, we released it like 10 years ago. But before that, we were touring up and down the East Coast, singing Cannabis Car and getting people to pray with us about freeing this plant and
Yes.
seeing it growing everywhere.
So I don't know how into cannabis a lot of people are, but I feel you. I'm on that level where I get cannabis has done so many things and awesome things, and thanks be to God. Like a lot of people don't give God his recognition. We're celebrating Earth Day after 420, 422.
Yes.
And I say to everyone, when you celebrate Earth Day, celebrate cannabis because cannabis is on the earth. Oh, excuse me. So cannabis comes from the earth.
It's one of the best ways you can celebrate Earth Day. It
Yes.
remediates the soil. It, it gives us so many eco-friendly products like Grassoline.
Grassoline. Right.
And, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but DJ Neglect, he's going to live stream that whole set on Twitch.
Okay. On Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay, so if everyone is tuning in, 420, you can't make it out to the Georgia Beer Garden where DJ Neglect is going to be performing, not performing, but being the DJ for that event. And Aviva and the Flying Penguins are going to be performing. And you all can just live stream now. Yeah, I hear. Okay, so cool. That sounds good, Mr.
Cool.
Pete the Cat. What you got to say about that?
Oh man, we hanging out. We're hanging out with Scribbles and Aviva and the Flying Penguins, and yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time.
Yes. What do you have to say about that, Scribbles?
Gasoline. I like to jump on my trampoline and sing about the gasoline because it's so mean that people keep the gasoline away from us.
Hey! Scribbles, what is the word of the day about cannabis? Is it grassoline? Can you give us a word that you like to recommend to people who's just now learning about cannabis? What is that?
Well, instead of gasoline, I'm gonna say GRAS, which is actually an acronym, GRAS. Generally recognized as safe. Does that count, even though it's 4 words?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Grass. All right.
Yeah, because hemp has been generally recognized as safe as a food, hemp seeds. And we need to get that word out there because we've been to a couple of chairmans and they're scared to even have hemp seeds because they don't know it's generally recognized as safe. They generally recognize it as dangerous stuff that can get them high, even though it has all these omegas and manganese and magnesium and so much nutrition.
OMG. I know that. All of that is nutritious. It's a health food, thus health food store. Why is CBD in health food stores? And
I mean, I don't eat ice cream because I don't really eat sugar because I'm just not like attracted to that. I'd rather have broccoli. But if, I think all ice cream places should have hemp seeds as an option, like sprinkles.
Yeah. So like if you want sprinkles or if you want chocolate or you want peanuts, you should have hemp seeds because hemp seeds is going to be better. Plus it's full of omegas, and omegas is good for what? What do you know about omegas, Scribbles?
It helps you think clearly.
Yes.
And also, did you know that when you eat a lot of sugar, you know how children get really hyper?
Yes.
The hemp seeds can help.
They do the reverse.
That crazy hyper.
Yes. Thank you. I needed that. I needed you to reference what I've already been saying to my patients and to kids and to people everywhere. Like, well, how are your kids so good? But exactly, that's great information. See, we needed you. That's what I'm saying. We got to bring you back every week. We got to have you educate with me because you're the only way people are going to understand and believe. I think they believe a puppet. I believe they would think of you better than they think of a doctor sometimes, What you think?
Yeah, it's true. I think he's just a little bit more trustworthy.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mommy.
Aw. I love it. All right, well, we're going to talk about Mommy's band for a second. We're going to go into some music because we want to let our viewers and our listeners know how awesome Aviva and the Flying Penguins are. And we have this video and a place where our viewers and listeners can watch and listen to you on YouTube. So we're going to be back and listen to this video. This was my favorite one. Right after this.
Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? You got a nice life. You got a nice wife. You're working hard for your money. You got to save to survive, but the gas prices never cease to rise. Don't you want
Zunke skana masoga Ushubari mwashumi Kepe kepe Shigirele kanda kanda Wobi amtabu na tene nyana Waza
All the farmers in Iraq could be taken on food, but instead they're drilling for oil. It's the government's rule, but we could easily be a hero just to make hemp production legal. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Ufuna akuya kule cannabis. Ufuna akuya kule cannabis. George Washington knew it. George Washington even grew it. Do 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 do. Your money's made of cannabis. Do 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 do. The pyramids are made of cannabis. Do do do.
Whoop whoop. I'ma learn it. Ooka booka cannabis. Woo!
Akuya kule cannabis.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I think it means don't you want a car that runs on cannabis?
Oh, okay. So was it Swahili or was it African?
Simon said it was Zulu, but I can't
Zulu.
verify it.
Okay. All right.
He does that chant. He said the chant was about finding your partner in marriage somehow, like a mating call or something.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we got to bring everyone else on the show and talk to you all again. So thank you for everything that you are, doing, all of the advocacy work that you do down at the Capitol, for the years of advocacy, because you're a veteran in this. So I thank you all for being here in Georgia. And a lot of people didn't even know you existed probably before now, because they don't go out to the Capitol. They don't do the advocacy work that you all have been putting in time and bringing laughter to the Congress and legislative. I mean, you're doing an exceptional job. So you Scribbles, keep doing.
I've been telling people, like, I'm learning through doing it. You know? And so I make these YouTube videos so anyone can go on there and learn about stuff. And I literally, like, I'm not an expert, but when I do my live videos where I go in and we watch live streams together, it's like we're all learning as we go.
Yeah.
And it is like peeling the layers of an onion when you start realizing what game is being played and who's scratching who's back.
Oh, yeah.
And, there's no way to learn about it in school. Like, there's no, like, formula of, like, yes, this is how you read the website. But there's no formula to understand it except through actually having a relationship and experience going down there and feeling the energy for yourself.
Oh, my goodness.
Changing the energy with your energy. So even though you might feel gross going down there because you feel like it's toxic and sheltered and emotionally closed off, and it's like going into a Monopoly board and being a two-dimensional piece, like, you still are bringing your light there and you're changing the vibration just by being there.
Just by being there. It's powerful. In those rooms, y'all, I done been down there. And when I tell y'all, I saw some history, Georgia history. I saw the news everywhere. I met so many newscasters, so many cameras, so many things that is going on right up under our noses. And we don't even know. We don't even read what's going on those legislators. There's people making plans for us while we're asleep, while we're having a good time, while we're partying, and we don't even know that we could be down there changing stuff. They are supposed to be working for us. So if we have people who are like us, who will get up there and testify about what we want and how we want to change things, a lot of stuff will be done, and a lot of stuff we won't be upset about because it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Or why is this law like this? Or why is this? Well, it started way back when. It just didn't start overnight. You know, the rules and stuff like that. People make rules off of how the people that help establish them and vote for them, do.
Very interesting. It's all about infrastructure. And a lot of it is good intentioned because it's how to coexist with corporations and corporate entities and things like our roads and things like buildings and how to coexist so that the infrastructure doesn't fall apart, but we also protect the people. And so there's a coexisting of protecting corporations and protecting people, and oftentimes the corporations get a little bit more protection because of the lack of education and because they're coming to the legislators and saying this is what we need.
Oh, the corporation is going to defend their money. They're going to be there front row, front and center. I've seen it. And I was like, oh, wow.
Recently, a legislation was passed which increased the amount of weight that can be on our roads. And this is another thing pro-gasoline, because Tesla cars are great as far as energy, but they're heavier. So now the roads are possibly, need to be rebuilt. And then where do you get the money for that? Trillions of dollars.
So you're saying, okay, so Tesla cars, we know Tesla cars is going to run on the electricity. I mean, the power. They got to plug them in, power source. So you mean to tell me that they're going to build them to be heavier than the 2,000 tons or whatever that the cars are normally? They're going to weigh more than that?
They are. I mean, I heard them testify that they're heavier. I didn't look it up and verify it. But it's basically so trucks can bring truckloads of certain things, and then there's a weight management so that we don't, roads can only take, and bridges can only take so much weight. There's a science to that.
Yeah. So when they build them in the concrete, so the concrete should have been built with hemp, because it would have made it more powerful and durable. So now what they're going to really need to do is start re-concreting the doggone roads, right?
You look at Henry Ford and George Washington Carver's car that was made of the hemp fibers. It's the lightest car body that I think can be created. Okay. So it's a lot. We start making those cars, and in the meanwhile, using gasoline for our cars so we don't create heavier cars, that will solve the climate crisis, energy crisis as well. Just use this plan.
Okay. All right. Gasoline. Can you explain gasoline one more time for our listeners and viewers who don't know what?
There are 3 kinds of gasoline, aka hemp fuel. There's biodiesel, which is probably the least amazing one, but it's still great because it uses, vegetables and potato, other things besides fossil fuels. And then there's ethanol. So ethanol is like what a lot of our cars have 10% of it in the fuel anyway from the corn ethanol, which is grown in Georgia. So we could easily at least switch that corn ethanol to hemp ethanol. And we all have cars that if it was built after 85 or something like that, most cars can run on straight ethanol if you just switch some of the engine piston speeds and whatnot, some of the mechanics in the engine.
Okay.
So you don't have to get a whole new car. Because, think about all the car parts that are going to go to waste if we all have to switch to Teslas. It's we can use the same car that we have. And then biobutanol is another vegetable oil. They're making it in China out of banana peels, Back to the Future. Make it out of hemp.
Banana peels.
Cellulose. And that is completely interchangeable with gasoline. So you can stick that in your car right now.
Right now. So I can go outside, take some vegetable hemp oil.
You can order biobutanol from China. It'll be really expensive because you're not making it yourself, and you can stick it in your gas tank.
And that's all. You mean to tell me?
Huh?
I'm going to look that up, Aviva. I'm going to hold you accountable for the listeners listening to this.
Yeah, please let me know if I'm wrong.
Have you tried it?
I've seen it. I have a video showing it because I met with Bruce Dietzen, who created the recent cannabis car. He drove it down for one of the hemp events that we put on a few years ago, and he had it on display and gave people rides and stuff. And he filled it up with biobutanol, and he showed it to me. And
oh wow! So I'm gonna be checking into that, so I can actually open up a biobutanol station.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, and of course it has to go through legislation. In the regulated industries. That's
right. That's another regulated industry.
That's why I keep bringing it up to him, because they're the ones, they're regulating cannabis, but they're also regulating car stuff and, you know, the Georgia Power and like all that stuff.
I know, because I was thinking, why is it there's a monopoly on Georgia Power? How come there's no other? But that's another subject on another day.
That's why the PSC was created, to keep them in check. So it's kind of like the Cannabis Commission was created for medical cannabis. They created the PSC, Public Service Commissioners, to manage Georgia Power. So just like, you know, people are accusing the monopolies
for the cannabis, right?
Lining the pockets of the Cannabis Commission,
right?
Lining the pockets of the PSC. I don't know. I've been talking to them about hemp for years too.
Oh wow! See, we stay over here, be quiet, show them this while they're doing this over here, and we missing out because we're focused on this. So let's still focus on everything, y'all. If you're listening, what is it called again? Biobutanol. Biobutanol. All right, so y'all heard it. All right, well, thanks again, Mr. Pete the Cat is the name for the day. What do you have to ask about? Nothing at all?
No.
All right, you got to ask Gribbles anything?
I already did.
Okay, well, we're going to talk and hang out Thursday.
That'd be so cute if you called like the weekly cameo, Ask Scribbles, and if he had like one or two questions that you had for him every week.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. All right, Ask Scribbles. All right, anybody want to ask Scribbles anything? Call us 470-251-4647, and we'll put it for next week. How about that? There you go, Scribbles. You're hired. Whoop whoop. He had a working interview. Work it, Scribbles.
And one more time, thank you, Nuts and Berries and Mellow Bear Honey, for supporting.
Yes, let's go shop at Nuts and Berries, guys. I love that store as well, and I love honey. Honey comes from the bees. All right, you all have a great rest of the day. All right, so in the news, 420 is something that we are getting ready to celebrate. It is a holiday that is like no other. But we got to first talk about the Chicago Cubs, who will be the first Major League Baseball team to sell CBD drinks in their stadium. So congratulations, shouts out. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. CBD, hemp, cannabis is hemp, is CBD. It's just a non-psychoactive, so don't worry about, But hey, they sell beer. So shouts out to our daughter's toy. What's it called, honey? Togo. Togo had an adventure with us this week, so we're excited that Togo was able to go out, and she had to actually take pictures with Togo and tell where her Togo stuffed animal went for the weekend. So shouts out again. All right. Legalization. Maryland lawmakers have passed legislation implementing a voter-approved referendum legalizing the production, sale, and use of cannabis. The legislation now heads to the desk of the governor, the Democratic governor, Wes Moore, who is expected to sign it into law. All right, so congratulations, Maryland. And chronic pain patients who use cannabis products for their 6 months reports improvements in their health related quality of life and decreases in their daily opioid consumption, according to the observational data published in the Journal of Expert Review of Neurotherapeutics. All right. All right, and so the NBA and the Players Association have reportedly settled upon a new collective bargaining agreement that amends the league's cannabis-related policies, limiting the ability of league officials to randomly screen players for cannabis and to punish those who test positive. All right, NBA, good step. All right, Montana House and Senate lawmakers have advanced legislation permitting policy to administer oral fluid tests to motorists suspected of being under the influence of drugs. The bill now awaits action from the Republican Governor Greg Gianforte. All right, Montana. New Mexico Democratic Governor Michelle Lujan and Grissom signed an expungement verification bill into law, which permits persons charged with offenses eligible for automatic expungement to verify whether automatic expungement has occurred, request expedited automatic expungements if eligible charges have not been expunged, and allows the convictions. Automatic expungement is if eligible charges have not yet been expunged, and allows persons convicted of multiple offenses to request to have their cannabis specific convictions expunged. All right, so deleting records. Members of the Texas House of Representatives advances legislation seeking to expand the pool of patients eligible to obtain state licensed cannabis products. All right, Texas. All right, the strain of the week, Mr. Pete the Cat.
It's an indica strain, Tiger's Milk, a.k.a. Tiger Milk. Yeah, boy, look at the buzz right there. Boy, the joint got 4.7 stars. All right, Tiger's Milk strain helps with anxiety, pain, and stress. 38% of the people says it helps with anxiety. 29% of the people registered to use it says it helps with their pain. And 28% of the people says that it helps with stress. Tiger's Milk, also known as Tiger Milk by Bodhi Seeds, is a powerful indica-dominant marijuana strain that descends from Bubba Kush and Appalachia. Initially, Tiger Milk hits with intense cerebral euphoria, an experience described by its breeders as being borderline psychedelic. Tapering down to restful relaxation over time, this indica is commonly looked to for its pain-relieving and sleepy qualities. Its aroma is a complex mix of earthy notes, led by hints of sweet honey and harsh and ashy spice.
All right, so I am back trying to republish my book. I wrote this book in about 2016 when I only have 6 kids, so it'll say, Yolanda from Dallas have 6 kids. Well, I have 8 now, but I talk about teen pregnancies, how to prevent teen pregnancies. There's only one way to prevent teen pregnancy, right? It's not to have sex. Well, we already know that's going to happen, and so I talk about it, and I explain to them what other things you can do besides have a baby. All right, so a lot of parents, unfortunately, they say don't have sex, don't have a baby, but they don't tell them what else they could be doing with that time, where they could be going, what they could be doing with their lives, being on TV, going to see the world, going to Africa, going to Jamaica, wherever you want to go. You have no kids, you can, the sky is the limit, And so what I do is I talk to them about making healthy lifestyle choices, and if they decide or they get pregnant, because accidents happen, and now in certain states you cannot get an abortion, so you're really at a down pit now, because now you have to have these babies and you may not know what to do and what your steps are. So there's different steps or different options that I put into the book, and then there are also, if you decide to keep the baby, what you're supposed to do, how to raise the family, how to make the home holistically, and that's using natural remedies. I have a section for calendars, how to write in your calendars, and you can also get this on an ebook. It's a kind of like a workbook type of book. I really love this. I put a lot of time and opportunity into this book to be able to get references. There's a lot of materials and phone numbers inside of the book where you can actually get real life resources that's available to those of you who decide to bring life forth. All right, and then we have some other news about credits, and Mr. Hen, Pete the Cat, we'll go ahead and talk about that.
All right. www.nchcredit.net. All right. Real quick, we're going to go over 8 things that could affect your score. Yeah. Number 1 is business credit cards. Number 2, unpaid medical bills. Number 3, unpaid parking tickets. Unpaid parking tickets. Overdue library books.
What?
Yeah. Withholding rent. Co-signing a loan.
Uh-oh.
Personal loans. Credit limit increases. Did I know that?
What?
Those 8 things can impact your credit score.
Well,
Right.
Asking for a credit limit increase, I thought that was what people normally do anyway.
They always do a hard quest, a hard pull to your credit score.
Oh, okay.
All right? That means there's going to be an inquiry.
Okay.
That means it's going to cost you. All right? And while we're on the subject of finances, I might as well just go ahead and tell you about this currency conversion that's about to happen to you July the 7th. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. All right. Tell us what's going on. We want to hear it.
Now, most of y'all already know about the little situation. Well, y'all don't even know about it, man, but I'm sure that y'all done heard it or it ran across your news or you got the information from us. And there been 1 or 3 places now that you'd have heard this kind of top-notch information. It's called BRICS, B-R-I-C-S. Brazil, Russia, India, China. See, they all have real names, huh? I bet y'all didn't know that, huh? But what they plan to do is plan to move away from using the U.S. dollars for things that they can export amongst themselves. So now, instead of using the dollar for their trading in Brazil, Russia, India, China, and instead of using the U.S. dollar in South Africa, instead of using the dollar for their trading, they're going to be going to another type of currency. What does that mean for the U.S. dollar? The less the U.S. dollar is in circulation, the less value it's worth. Okay? So, over here, we knowing that economy-wise, the less value of the dollar means things get expensive for people who use the dollar, right? So earlier this week, Kamala Harris gonna make a trip over there to Ghana, South Africa, right? And she meet with the president to try to save the relationship of the United States have with African oil producer nations. Well, over there in Africa right now, the hot topic is LGBTQ.
Oh.
The hot topic over there is, hey man, we ain't allowing that over here. And so you had a representative from a country that's pro-LGBTQ in a country that's non-LGBTQ. And we trying to save the dollar with them. Nah. So what does that mean for the United States? What does that mean for the United States? 1, we're either going to go to war to protect this dollar. Who we going to fight? China. Yeah, we're going to fight China. Are we going to fight Russia? China and Russia by themselves or together? It's a lot of unanswered questions, even if you start looking in that direction. All right. The federal government does have a payment platform that they will be implementing on July the 7th called FedNow, FedNow. N-O-W. That is the usherance in of this digital currency.
Usher it in.
All right. The problem with that now is that the federal government will be able to know what you are purchasing with these funds. The United States digital currency was reported to have an expiration date, which means if you don't spend that money, you're going to lose that money. This is about to be a fiasco, all right? This is about to be a fiasco. Now, those people who make under a certain dollar amount income-wise, they probably won't feel very much of a switch in it. Not very much. The problem is going to come with people who have a lot of cash, people who have a lot of money, people who travel, people who shop a lot, people who buy a lot of stuff. They probably going to feel the impact more than somebody who don't do a lot of shopping, don't do a lot of traveling, don't go to a lot of places. All right? Their currency conversion will be converted 1-to-1. While people who have over $100,000, $200,000, they're more likely to see a delay. Because them folks ain't got the money to change over like that. You're going from one fiat currency to another currency that's not backed by anything except human life. That's what this new currency will be backed by.
No way.
All right, so check this out. Now, in other news, they're not prosecuting that girl who got killed down in Mexico, man. They're not processing them folks. The feds don't even want that smoke.
And you said they weren't going to do it to you.
Pretty much, if I say it, pretty much that's what it is. It's going to happen. Now, check this out. Okay, so now, with Fed now, it'll operate on blockchain technology. It will operate on blockchain. All right. Now, where else have we heard that name blockchain? Well, there's cryptocurrency, and medical records. All right. Those are all the three places that you've heard blockchain. Cryptocurrency, and medical records. All right. Blockchain technology will allow the administrator to see exactly what transactions took place in the chain. Why is that important to the federal government? Because you think you're finna use your account to go and purchase something that's on the Food and Drug Administration's list of things that you can't have. And the folks will see you going to 7 under. Deactivate that card. Them folks will see you get ready to go to a country that's not American friendly. Deactivate that card. Them folks will see you in a gun shop buying an AR-15. See what I'm saying? So now the federal intervention. I don't need a third party when I go spend my money right now. When I go into a Best Buy and I want to buy 100 cords, 100 patch cords for the studio, all I got to do is either use cash or swipe the card. Ain't no third party intervention. With Fed now, you go in there and swipe that card. As soon as you swipe your card, it's going to notify the federal government and then Best Buy server. Right? It's about control. All right? And y'all about to experience the worst form of control ever. Because if you move outside of a certain zip code and try to purchase something outside of that zip code, guess what they're going to do? Deactivate that card. You say something that the government don't like, they can deactivate that card. Electric vehicles. You go somewhere that you're not permitted to be, y'all about to experience some real control issues. So now, here we are. What do we do? How do we get around it? Look for altcoins. Move your currency to a different country's currency. Still don't mean that you can't spend the money now, because Fed now is not going to be a worldwide thing. Fed now is only for the United States. Okay? You can Bitcoin. You notice Bitcoin is now having more Bitcoin ATM machines put everywhere. More places is using Bitcoin. You got Ethereum. You got Dogecoin. All right? There are options. All right? Also, y'all might want to go and look at some of your paperwork to some of the things that y'all just purchased. Why? Because when you're making your payments, and say you make your payments in US dollars, if they get rid of the US dollar, then what? How
You
do
have
you make
changed
your
the
payments?
contracts.
Then they had to change the contract. Which means, guess what got to happen to accept a contract? You have to sign it. You have to agree to a contract. And what if you don't agree to the terms of the contract? That's no longer your car. That's no longer your house. Tied up in court. They'll probably keep it forever for free. A lot of different options right there, right? Because it's a lot of gray area. But I'm just saying. Another thing that I want to talk about and put out there in the universe is the assault rifle ban.
Ooh.
I just want to say that everybody who says that if you get rid of the AR-15, you stop school shootings, I just want to say all y'all crazy. If they take away the AR-15, they're coming for the 50 cal next. If they're coming for the 50 cal, they're coming for the 45, 49, the 38, the 22, the Dillinger, the 12 gauge. They're going to come for all of them. Because one thing about it, guess what? Guns don't automatically kill people. I haven't seen one gun that automatically fires without squeezing the trigger. It ain't going to squeeze itself. Now, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. Okay?
We should have had a bam on
think,
that one.
So if y'all really think that taking a person, if y'all really think that taking an AR-15 is going to stop a school shooting, think again. A person can get a hold to an AR-15, they get a hold to a 9mm. Mm-hmm. They get a hold to a 9mm, they catch the 25, they can catch the 38, they can catch the shotgun, they can take a knife and cut you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We got to come at this from a different angle, and just taking the weapons ain't going to work, because one day y'all going to need the weapons that y'all trying to tell people to get rid of. Y'all going to need them.
Y'all gonna need them. We are going to particularly need all of our rifles and arms, and we have that right.
You can have my gun from the side with the hole. That's the only way you're going to be able to take my guns from me. If you feel the fire first.
There you have it, Mr. Pete the Cat, a.k.a. Hen Henderson, along with Dr. Henderson, a.k.a. the Hat Lady, a.k.a. Cannabis Doc, have spoken. And we hope you all enjoyed the show. Like every week, you tune in and watch us. Same time on Sundays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next week, have a great rest of it.